All right, here we are getting ready for the New York Open. Let's see what happens this morning. I'm going to try and get back into the streaming thing just for fun. Oh, my light's like flickering. That's aggravating. Let's see. All right, we're going to set up here. I have the 3-minute chart up right now. We're going to trade a 3-minute opening break. So we're just gonna wait for the open to happen here and see as it sets up, and I'll walk through the trade that I take as I take it. I'm gonna say I already took 2 trades pre-market. One was a fail, stop out here, and then the other one was a winner. So we're up 157 today after commissions. I'm trading micros at the moment, so 3 and 5 micros on those 2 trades. Let's see. All right, so here's the open. I am just gonna wait and see what happens with this first 3-minute candle. So we're just gonna chill out here for a minute or two, and we'll take what happens next. I'm trying to find. Forgot my password to sign into the chat. Oh well. No chat. Figure that out later. All right, what do we see here? We see price is above my 105 SMA, that red line there. Very faint, you can see that red line there. Actually above all my moving averages. However, if we're above the moving averages. We took out this low here from kind of this London session area. I guess London session technically 2 a.m. So that might be the London session low. So we came right down to it, didn't quite take it out. Because of that, I don't really have a bias. If we had taken out this low, I'd expect us to go long. We haven't taken out that low yet, so see what happens. All right, we have 1 more minute. Gauge the size of this range so far. We're at 60 points. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to take this trade. Let me get my ATM set up here. I have an ATM for it. 3-minute break, which really just gives me a really wide stop and target, and then I can adjust that stop and target for whatever the range actually is because it's dynamic. And so we'll see. One of my rules for this trade is if we're trading into the red line, we won't take the first break. However, we're through the red line, so if it does come down here, I might get in. I might just take whichever break, whichever side it goes to. All right. Do this. Get my contracts right. I'll get it there before it pops out. An indecision candle on that opening 3 minutes is not ideal. Just wait and see what it does. That's all we can do. Can't make the market do anything. It's futile to guess. We have that overnight open there too. Didn't see that. All right, we're in it. We move our stop to, well, actually we're gonna go behind the candle. It's $169. Again, we're trading micros. Target's 100% right here. We may get stopped out on this one. We got the overnight open right here, which I didn't see because it's overlaid with the close from yesterday. It looks like we may have opened and closed at the same exact spot right there. That's the line. So it could be really, usually it's really just kind of choppy around that area. And so we'll see. This is where we have the chill music just to let us zen out here while we watch it go. As soon as we get a close outside, I'll move my stop to the 50% of the range, which, you know, isn't too much. Yeah, I'm really not liking this. Looking at the 1 minute chart, looks more like a long on the 1 minute chart. We're also really kind of consolidating. We haven't really moved much. You can see this yesterday. We took trades all the way up. Pretty decent day. And now we're just kind of consolidating in this sort of top area here from yesterday. Well, that's really noisy over there. A lot of trading going on over there. I think it puts, if you go in 2 or 3 or 4 contracts and it doesn't fill them all in the same spot, you get extra. You know, you get one little text line for each contract. So ultimately we have, I didn't trade as much as it looks like I traded there. Nevertheless, we're kind of at the top of this range and just sort of settling in here. So the fact that that candle is another indecision candle could work out to our benefit or not. Well, so far so good. And we broke out the bottom, so I'm going to move my stop loss back to this 50% line. If we hit that 100% down there, that's our 231 for the day. We're basically done. We'll see. Target's in kind of a dangerous place. Thing is, if it breaks through that bottom, it's probably going to go further. I almost wonder if I should move my target down. I probably shouldn't. I'm going to move this down to just below the low of day. I think if it... Because it makes sense, right? If we break that low, is it just going to stop there? I mean, it could. But we have this low over here. If it breaks this, it's going to break this. Wouldn't be surprised to see it wick down here. All right, we hit the 75% of the range, so I'm going to move my stop to break even. Just below break even, so I don't have to lose out on commissions. This is going to make this a really boring stream for the rest of the hour and a half if we get our trade like right off the bat here. Five-minute, 15-minute chart, obviously sharing the bearish look at the moment. 5-minute chart still has a minute left to go on the current candle. Here's the 5-minute chart here. My face is covering the 15-minute chart. You can move that over. There we go. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Just really hope this doesn't rip up and stop me out. That would be... All right, so we wicked below this candle here. See if we can get one more little push down here. Getting a little pullback. I really shouldn't do this, but I'm going to move. I might stop back a little bit to the up to where the overnight open is here. I think if it wiggles up here, I don't want to get stopped out right away. I mean, a lot of times at this point, it's better to, you're going to be moving your stop around. It's almost better just to take your profits where it's at and be done for it. Either got to stick to your plan or get out. That's usually best. Stick to your plan or get out. See, what I like is if we look at the 1 minute chart, we're pulling up to our 9 EMA here. We are bouncing off of this. This little line here is it's a standard deviation off of VWAP. So we did get a little bit of reaction there, but we're holding the EMA, so there we go, straight back down. Now all we need is a wick down here, and we'll be golden. All right, so it already came up, so moving back to break even here. There it goes. All right, now we're below. This is the moment of truth, so I'm gonna maybe trail this a little more aggressively here. So if it just wicks like it did here and just rips straight back up, I want to be protected. I have to think though, if it breaks this low, it's, I mean, why doesn't it take out the low a day at this point? Coming off in the open. See if we can get it there. Just a little more. Just a little more. I'm not even asking for the low a day. There it is. All right, target hit. So I don't know how much that was. So from 281.50 to 351. How many points is that? My brain is not mathing today. We're going to, where's my little, probably not exact. What's that, 69 points? Not bad, we'll take it. That puts us up 433 on the day. Trading micros, by the way, trading micros. $433 in 6 accounts. Live streaming every day, I think. We'll see if I can be consistent doing that, but that's my goal, is to live stream every day at trading this strategy. I was trading gold forever, and then Apex said, hey, you can't trade gold anymore. So now I had to switch over to NQ, which you can trade essentially the same strategy I was trading in gold, but it's not the same. So I did a bunch of back testing over the weekend and came up with, I mean, all the strategies that I do here are strategies that I've used kind of over and over again. So none of them are really new. But this 3-minute open range break, it seems to work for now, at least. So we're going to go with it. The target is that 100% line. The reason I moved it down a little bit further was because we had the low of day right there. So it just makes sense. And you can see, at least for now, we did wick below the low of day and it's pulling back. We'll see, what it does from here, but makes sense if there's a target there that you should, you might as well get a little extra. There's no reason not to. I mean, from the 100% line to the, isn't it? That's an extra 12, 15 points off of that. So the basic idea of this strategy is if we break outside of this range, we're usually going to go 100% of that range, right? And again, it's only the 3-minute open range. So depending on the day, it can vary quite a bit. You know, right now you're looking at 58 points with stop loss risk of 29 points, 30 points. You can see when I started this trade, I did keep my stop behind this candle because until this candle closes, right, that makes sense to do that. It could come in here and then it could wick around. You know, price could move around a little bit, and you don't want to get stopped out for a loss and then have a breakthrough and then have to make the decision to either get back in or, you know, just miss out on the trade. My thought process is it's better to take an extra 8 points of risk, 8, 9, 10 points of risk. It's better to take that extra 10 points of risk on the chance that it does this and continues, in order to avoid getting stopped out for a 30-point loss and missing out on the profits. And so, you know, that's really what you want to avoid. So that was my thought process there. And so typically, as you can see, if it gets to that 75% of the open range, I'll move my stop loss to break even. You can see in this trade, I did move it back a little bit because price started to pull back sort of immediately. And again, I don't want to get stopped out on a little bit of a pullback just to have it go to my target. Again, I would rather risk a couple dollars on the chance that it continues to my target. Of course, it didn't get close to my stop loss in this case, so maybe I got lucky, but that's what happened. So I'll give a little background and history on these accounts. You can see I have 5 or 6 PA accounts there. I'm on day, I don't know, 9 or 10 on one of them, and I think, well, I would have to check. I've traded them all for about 10 days, give or take a day or two. And I was I was up quite a bit, and then I pulled back. You know, can't see it now, but right now after the wins today, I have $1,000 in drawdown. So the accounts are in profit, but I only have about $1,000 in drawdown, and that's why I'm trading micros. If I can get $400, $500, $600 a day trading micros, then that's probably a better scenario for me. And so I can wait for these longer runs. If that was trading one single mini contract, you know, obviously it would have made a lot more. Would have made 70 points. So what's that? $1,400 on one contract, one mini contract. You know, so that would have been great. The problem is though that it moves too much. So if it pulls back to this 50% mark, I'm at 30 points, which is what, $600. Before this trade, I didn't have $600 of drawdown in the accounts, and so the accounts just aren't big enough for that. So probably on the next trade tomorrow, I'll go in maybe 3 or 4 contracts. I'm certainly not adverse to risking probably more than I should, although still within the parameters that Apex has set for those accounts. Because the objective is to get them to pay out, right? That's the goal on these accounts. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That's what we do. All right, well, I don't think I'm going to go till 9:30 because I'm not going to take another trade. I am done for the day. There's no reason to sit here and watch it. And get your money and go home. That's what we need to do. Switch over here just real quick for fun. This is the 15-minute open range setup here. You can see we pulled back to the green line here, which is our 9 EMA. If I was trading, you know, crosses or anything like that, you have a flat red line, which is the slow EMA here, or I guess it's an SMA at 105. And you have all of these three have crossed it. So following an EMA strategy, the idea would be we've crossed, so you wait for a pullback up here to go short again. The only thing I would be concerned about is we did take out this low of day. So this could be a turnaround spot, especially as we approach 10 a.m. We look at the sort of higher time frames here. You know, again, we're at the top of, this is the 15-minute chart right here. And my face is way too much in the way here. I have to move that. You can see we had a push up, a little pullback, a push up. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. Are we going to come down into this level and then gather some momentum for another move higher, or are we rolling over? You know, that's really kind of the question. Right now it looks like we're rolling over. We broke out of the 15-minute open range, so maybe we get a push lower. Got big wicks down here. See, ICT is streaming this morning. I'm sure he's got ideas on where this is going. So back to the 3-minute chart. I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised to see this be the low a day here and then get a push higher, but I could be completely wrong. I don't know. That's not my field of expertise. My field of expertise, such as they are, which really aren't much, that is on much shorter time periods. I'm pretty confident that this drop was going to bring us down to this level. Where it goes from here, I don't know. Just kind of wait and see how it plays out. If this holds, though, I mean, we're definitely consolidating down here. If we hold and we break up, I don't know. We might just ride it up for the rest of the day. I don't know. Now it makes me want to wait around and see. Maybe we'll wait around and see. Could be interesting here. We've got this fair value gap. We think it's headed up and it breaks through this guy. That would be a strong bullish look. We'll see. I gotta turn the stream on my phone. I want to see how loud this music is, so I'm gonna mute myself here for a second so I can hear this. All right, I think that sounds okay. All right, let's roll with it. All right, we're pushing up through that gap. Again, I just want to see how this plays out. I'm not guessing on where this is going or anything like that. There we go. Just kind of curious to see if we took out that low, does that take us higher? That is my question here. And that's 3-minute chart. Here's our 1-minute chart. We have a similar gap on the 1-minute chart. Same kind of spot here. All right, we're inverting that on the 1-minute chart. This is where it rips to the moon. Probably not. Probably not. It's back to that overnight open. Typically a choppy area. 3-minute chart. 1-minute chart. Let's watch the 1-minute chart here for a second. Ripping up. There we go. There it goes. Oh, the 5-minute chart inverted the gap. So we have a 5-minute inversion, we have a 1-minute inversion. We're gonna have a 3-minute inversion here pretty soon. Oh no, this is interesting. So if we look at the daily chart, which I don't normally look at this stuff, so that's why I'm just now. So we look at the daily chart, we have a gap here. Where's my, there it is. That's a big, it's a big area of interest there. So we're right up into that area right now. Kind of curious to see. 2 days ago we had a test down here, strong push back up. Smaller day yesterday, but a green day. What else do we have? Again, we failed to take out this low over here. So here we took out a high, we took out a low, we took out a higher high, we created a lower low, so we're gonna push to a higher high? Don't know. It kind of seems like maybe where it's headed though. I think that's kind of an area to watch though. I think definitely if we push above that area, so what's that, 425, 450 area? Could be very, very bullish. I'm almost wondering if I don't take another trade out of this range, because it's also the top of the 15-minute range. I would prefer to see a little bit of a pullback. So we're getting crosses on all the MAs now. If we got a pullback here before a push out, I would maybe be tempted to take that. Let's wait and see what happens. I don't really want to give up any of my profits, man. It was $433 on 6 accounts. Get the trusty calculator out here. Power of compounding with multiple accounts. $2,500, $2,600. It's not a bad day's work. All right, we're getting a little bit of resistance here at this VWAP standard deviation here. I would have a hard time taking a break right here just because we haven't had any kind of a pullback on this push up for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. No pullback whatsoever. There we go. All right. It's going to be some kind of pullback, and I do not want to get wicked into something and then have a pullback. It'd be much more ideal to have the pullback happen first. I mean, the deeper the pullback, the better. But this is a strong uptrend, so I'm not sure what kind of a pullback we're going to get. Back to the 3-minute chart. Oh, wait. Switch screens. There you go. Back to the 3-minute chart. I realized you guys were still on the 5-minute chart, or 15-minute chart. There's a long delay between my stream and YouTube, so it needs like 3 minutes or something. Maybe not that long, but it's not ideal. I don't know enough about the process to know if that's something that can be improved. I mean, obviously, larger channels are more real time. Maybe that's the advantage of being a larger channel, is you get more instant feedback. I don't know. All right, so now we did get a pullback, not quite to the green line, but to that VWAP deviation. Love for you to pull back to that green line. I want to see that green line. Ideally, I would like to see this gold line cross above the red line. That would be a much better. Well, we pulled into this gap here. It's a 19-point candle there. So on 1 micro, that'd be 40 bucks. 2 micros would be 80 bucks. Did I give it a try? Yeah, I think I will. I only did 1. I want to do 2. I meant to do 2. There we go. All right, we're anticipating a break. We got the high of day up here. It's a little risky because I didn't get kind of the pullback that I really wanted. I'm almost wondering if I don't just bell on this. I get nervous in trades that don't give me like the perfect entry, because I'm going to be really annoyed if it does. If I'd be more annoyed if I take a loss knowing that the entry wasn't like A++ than having it go and not being in it, if that makes any sense. Maybe we're just hesitating too much right here. What's going on the 1-minute chart? Oh, this is the 1-minute chart. What's going on the 3-minute chart? So if we put our stop below the 1-minute, or below that 3-minute candle, we're at an $86. I think I can handle that. It's essentially the... There it comes down. All right, see now it's touching the green line on the 1-minute chart. Well, not quite. Yeah. That is noisy. I hate that. I'm gonna get rid of the data series. Get rid of these markers. They make this too noisy. We'll put them back on later. We got to cross the gold line. It's gonna stop me out. I think Yeah, I got too antsy. I should have waited for a deeper pullback. What do you got going on? We got kind of a doji candle on the 5-minute chart. Got a lower high on the 1-minute chart. I'm gonna go hands off the mouse though. Whatever it is, it is. I'm gonna open my Fit Crunch bar. It's breakfast time. At least eat something while I get stopped out. Well, there we go. All right. If this holds here and goes up, I think we're going to go up. So 5-minute is an inside bar, green inside bar. It's 10 o'clock. We don't have any news, do we? I don't think so. News was over here when I took a trade earlier this morning. Didn't realize it was news. Right here. Unfortunately, I was on the right side of that news. Oh, come on. It's hesitating too much. Let's go. Set it at high a day here. Probably going to take me in my 2 contracts and then rip back. There we go. Yep. Come on. It's gonna be choppy here, are you? There we go. All right, it's got to push now. If it doesn't push now, then I think I'm cooked. So I'm gonna move my stop up. There we go. Out of the open range. So in theory, I could move this up to 100%. But I'm just gonna take my little win there. That was a lot noisier than I wanted it to be. But I think the idea there was really good. I mean, the only thing that I should have done differently is waited for that actual green line touch. That would have been kind of a confirmation, and I would have got in at the same spot, right? So once that touched, I would have put my order there. I would have got in. It would have been a little noisy, but it would have been 2-3 minutes less. So I am kind of curious to see if we go. Well, let's see. There we go. I'm gonna squeeze this up a little bit. See if we go to that 100% line up here. Because if we're taking, well, no, sorry. What am I thinking? That's a 15-minute range. I want to look at the 3-minute range. Okay, so there's the 100%. So if we're taking a breakout of that 3-minute range, that initial 3-minute range, there's a likelihood that it gets up to here. And honestly, I should have moved my target up there, because why not? I mean, that's that's the target. I guess going back to this trade, I added in here again for the same reason I should have waited to get in the first place, right there. I added in a little bit higher because I was already in at 3 contracts. I don't remember how many contracts was in. I was in 4 total, so I was in 2 and 2. So I was in 2 contracts through the pullback, and then I added 2 more at the break of this candle's high. Again, because if I had waited, I would have got in there, right? That should have been my initial entry. But since I sat through the pullback, you know, I might as well add to my position, because the trade idea is still valid, and it's still you know, I still expect it to go where, you know, there's still a valid target there. It does double the risk, but still the maximum risk I was at there was $184, which I think, if I remember right, go back and check, $180, $190, something like that. So it wasn't jeopardizing all of my profits for the day. So in my mind, that was somewhat acceptable. Okay, so the question, do we get to that 100% mark off the 3-minute break? I like the stats that Tradeovate puts up. So my win rate's 83% today. Pretty good. Largest losing trade was $46. See, largest winning trade, 278. That's pretty good. Up 581 on the day so far. I think I'll probably stop there though. That puts me at $1,100. Let's see. $1,100 drawdown in 5 of the 6, and then this guy over here is $1,378 in drawdown. So that puts me in good shape. I think tomorrow we'll probably go up to 4 or 5 contracts. See if we can't push the needle, because as soon as these accounts get up to $4,500 in profits, we're taking payouts from these 6. The goal is 20, and I've kind of said, you know, once I get payouts, that's going to be my green light to get additional accounts. I'm not just going to go gangbusters on buying accounts. I've all been down that road before. I mean, if you look at 6 accounts, and if you can take your $2,000 out of the 6, that's $12,000. That's not a bad, you know, that's not bad. Nothing wrong with that. So it's kind of the goal. Prices sort of sitting here. Again, we're inside that. Oops, wrong one. There we go. We're inside that little gap that we pointed out on the daily chart, giving us some resistance here. I think the real test here, you know, we're above yesterday's high. If we break outside of that, I would say that's very bullish. But this could also be kind of a noisy area too. It may not just go there. 5-minute candle green. I mean, pretty bullish on the 5-minute chart at the moment. I've tried to work out some kind of methodology for saying it. Once you break out of the opening range on one direction, what's the likelihood that if you re-enter that range, you're going to break back through? Because I would love to say, hey, we got back in the range. If you're just looking for that 100% as your target on a range break like this, you can get that same gain by going, you know, just across the range. But that's not as easily predicted, because you're pulling back up into an area usually of consolidation. So it's just, from what I've observed, the probability isn't as high. But whenever I see that, that's what I think, right? It's like, you know, we're coming off the low. If we push up here, I mean, just like I was saying, right? If we break through this, we're probably going higher. And if we go higher, higher means outside the other end of that opening range. So I don't know, but where do you put your stop? You know, you'd have to have your stop for that basically way down here, and that's a little too much. So the risk to reward there isn't as great, even though when you see it do this, in hindsight, it seems pretty obvious. We should have done that. All right, so there we go. We rejecting that area pretty strongly at the moment. Right back to the overnight open. Got 45 more minutes here. See what happens. If you are watching my stream this morning, if you'd give it a like, that would be pretty cool. It's kind of funny, I can give myself a like on the stream, even though I'm watching my own stream. That's funny. I mean, on the 1 minute chart, you could almost make an argument that you could take this as a long. I'm not willing to risk 38 points, which is what you would need to do. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of interesting on the 15-minute chart because we have, I mean, you can see the bodies of those candles. I mean, they closed up into it, but just barely wicked way back up there. So that's really not a great sign. This could just be really boring, and I don't think there's any. Is there any news? FOMC member speaking, and then something way late this afternoon. No, so there's no news to kind of wake things up. Just kind of consolidating this open range, or this overnight open. I mean, if you're taking a break of a candle at the goal line, that would be your entry. I'm just not super convinced here. 30 points, not worth the risk for me, especially because we got my blue line and my green line crossing right here. I mean, if those crossed, you'd wait for the cross to pull back to go short here, so this is not looking like a long to me, but we'll see. And my experience of this overnight open is you're way, excuse me, you're way more likely to get stopped out in choppiness at the overnight open and have it still go in your direction. So it just makes it either have to have a wider stop. Well, you'd have to have a wider stop, I think. I mean, you can see even here, right? We took the breakout of this 3-minute open range. Well, not we, but I did. Right? We took a breakout here and then it pulled all the way back in here for a second, you know, so at this overnight open, even the momentum from the open wasn't enough to just push it past here. Right? If we're trading this on the 1 minute chart, we could have said, okay, we have a break, you know, maybe, you know, you could, if you wanted to be really cautious, wait for that break on the 3-minute chart, go to the 1 minute chart, and then wait for some kind of a little pullback. And you could have got in like right here, and it would have worked fine. And you would not have you had to sit through that noise. Okay, and there it goes. There it goes. So that would have worked. It would have worked. It's gone 26 points so far. So I mean, you know, breaking off that. Again, the risk reward for me wasn't there. Mostly because I'm in profit. If I hadn't taken a trade yet, I might have actually taken that, but it's easy to say that in hindsight, right? Oh yeah, that was perfect. Worked out great. I would have definitely been on board. And if it failed, I could have gone and said, yeah, I would have definitely stayed out of that. The reality is I didn't take the trade because I was not confident in the setup and I was already in profit. So there's no reason to risk that, given my current P&L, right? There's no reason to give that back. Although if it was my first trade of the day, realistically, I probably would have taken it because that was a pretty clean pullback and it consolidated. You actually have two inside bars, right? Inside bar. And then it broke above that inside bar and kind of took off. I mean, I personally would have kept my target pretty tight on that because there's been consolidation up here. And so I just would not have been confident that we would push up and break through that consolidation. And so for that reason, I would have had a tighter stop, maybe at the top of that open range there, but there is the logic that says we did break that open range again though, so it could definitely continue higher. I didn't realize I'm still on. Man, I gotta get better at this. Still on. I'm over here talking about the 1 minute and 3 minute chart, and you're watching the 15-minute chart. There we go. There, so there's that entry right here. If you wanted to take it off of this gold line, we have a smooth pull back to the gold line. Could enter right here, and it would have worked. Risk below the candle. Below that pivot low, 31-ish points. Too much for me, so I stayed out. But it worked. Now, can it break the 15-minute range and just break this high and rock it up? What are we gonna do? And it kind of seems like it wants to go up. It's just really getting worn out here. It's a gap. Can it break above it? 3 minute chart. Yeah, so this is interesting to me. So there's if you're using the same kind of green line, gold line methodology on this 3 minute chart, that was a much cleaner entry. Came back, tested both the gold line here, the green line here. A break above that would have worked. Of course, your risk would have probably been even more than before, right? 36 points. So what was it before? 31. So a couple more points, but of course it did pull way back. Just in terms of looking at the candle structure, I mean, this seems much cleaner, right? You get a break above that, and you know, you pushed up 33 so far, so you know, 1-to-1 would not have been unreasonable. And then straight back down. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to want to go higher. Doesn't seem to want to go higher. Wonder what ICT's doing. I'll look here and see what ICT's saying. What's he ranting about this morning? Looks like he's... oh no. Is he in a trade? Can't tell what he's doing. I hear him talking. The simplicity of the cookie cutter methodology. Not familiar with the cookie cutter methodology. But we'll give him a like since we stopped by. Right? Might as well. The simplicity of the cookie cutter methodology. Yeah, turn down the volume there. Alright. Back down we go. Back down we go. There's another reversal candle. Thirty more minutes. 30 more minutes. You're really bored sitting here and watching this when I'm not ready to trade. There it goes back up again. We're just ranging right here. We're just ranging. When are we gonna go? That's the nice thing about ranging areas, is that it doesn't range forever. So that is some accumulation going on. If you can find out, if you can figure out a way to get in whenever it breaks out of that, that's where the real money is made. But if you don't get it right, that's also where the real money is lost. I think off center. I always lean over here because the microphone's over here. Need to be more over here. Turn the microphone. You see it? There we go. We'll get this figured out. It says cut out there for a second. There we go. All right. This is day one. We'll get better at this. So we're doing practicing. Okay. Hey, all right. We held above that 15-minute open range again. Is this the point of breakout? It's not sure. All right, let's look at the daily total just for fun. 581 times 6, $3,400. I'll take it. I mean, it's kind of funny. So this is prop firm math. Okay, so if I have to make, you know, you can say that's a good number, but you have to look at it inside the context of where you need to be. So I need to have these accounts to 4,500. I really only need them to be to 4,100 technically before I can request $2,000. But I like to, let's say 4,500 because that leaves the full $2,500 ish buffer in there. So $4,500 times my 6 accounts. So I got to make 27,000. And today I made 581 times 6, 3,400. Well, that's not bad, I guess, right? A third of the way there, fourth of the way there, third of the way there. Is that right? 4,500. I'm losing my mind. Oh, 27. Okay, I was thinking 12. So 27. So say 3,500 divided by 27,000. Oops. 12%. So you'd have to do that for like 10 days. Now I'm already up 1,000, 1,200 bucks. So I'm already well into my, you know, I'm about a quarter of the way there already. Not bad. Not bad. Again, trading smaller today because I lost big last week, Thursday, Friday. So I'm kind of digging out of a hole. Even though the accounts are positive, my drawdown was not ideal, and so doesn't makes things a little tighter here. All right, see, I like this better because we tested down into this gap, right? We created this little imbalance here, and then we tested down into it and popped up. So I would say if I was looking for a breakout of this range, I would have wanted to jump in probably right after this, tested down here and push straight back up. Too late for me now, but that would have been kind of what I would have been looking for. And then let's see where we go from here. Back to the 3-minute chart. Come on, let's go. All right, back up to the this consolidation area. Might just break through. I mean, last time we failed here, it took it all the way down to the overnight open. Now we've kind of maneuvered our way back up here. Wouldn't be surprised if it fails again, if that's the last chance for the bulls to push it up there before the bears begin to dominate. All right, it's bullish close on the 3-minute chart. 5 and 15 are still bullish as well. 2 minutes till the close on the 5-minute chart. So do we wick down or do we push up? Don't come down, don't come down. mean, the 5-minute chart's kind of have a bull flag on the 5-minute chart, don't we? I mean, if you were to look at this, where's my line? We have kind of this bull flag going on, so we got 46 seconds before that closes. I would not want it to close back inside the opening range, that's for sure. If I was bullish. Looks like we're gonna get that 1-minute close inside. Alright, so there's a 1-minute close inside. Could not push through. So what do we think? Is this just an upward channel here? I mean, if you look at this, we actually took out this high, right? So we had a high here. I mean, the big problem is we're still within, you know, all this nonsense over here. But we came up here, created this high, which was higher here. So we have sort of a slightly higher high down to the low, higher low, higher high. Now we're at the bottom of this channel. Now we're going to draw that something like that. Stochastics coming down oversold. Do we pop? I mean, the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart, that candle pulled way back, but still closed above the prior 5-minute candle, so I don't know. There's a chance here. Sorry, when I get fidgety when I'm waiting for stuff to happen and I start moving my chart around, so it's probably very distracting. Hmm. 20-point candle, it's $400 or $40, $400 on a mini, $40 on a micro. Be the risk on that candle right there. Looks like we won't get the break though. At least not yet. Strong push down. I don't know. You gonna break it? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. The bottom of this little channel. I don't trade channels, but if you were to try and get in on the bottom of this channel, your stop would have to be below this candle over here, right here. So, you know, if you'd have just sold this or bought that, you're looking at 30 points. You know, if you were to jump in here, you'd be looking at 42. Too much risk. All right, so now we got an inside bar. I mean, if you broke this high, you'd be hoping it pushed out, right? You wouldn't be looking for just a little bit. You'd be looking for a break above the high. It's just a lot of noise to break through. I don't know. Not my cup of tea. Just so interesting. Last time we wicked down here and it pushed up pretty strongly. And now we took out this candle's low. What's the 3-minute chart look like? Yeah, the 3-minute chart looks a little more bullish or bearish. We had, you know, pretty dramatic lower high. Got a lot of indecision on the 15-minute time frame. Feels like a pretty low probability area overall. We got 20 minutes left on the hourly candle, which is kind of like a doji candle at the moment. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's a pop above that inside, that double inside bar. Is that enough? Is that enough for it to continue up? Hold on to nothing. If you got ticked into this, you're not feeling super comfortable right now. At least I wouldn't be. Oh, goodness. Very indecisive. Very indecisive. If you look at the red line as kind of an indication of what direction we're going, we still have, you know, going into the market. I mean, it was fairly flat, but, you know, down sloping. And then after we hit this low, now it's up sloping. Not dramatically, but it is. I'm really just hanging out because I want to see where this goes. I'm gonna go. I mean, at the moment I would still be bullish, but not with great conviction, if that makes sense. I mean, it hasn't really broke. Once it breaks kind of these lows down here, now we're bearish, or at least I would be. So still bullish, but not bullish but cautious. I guess that's probably the best thing to say. Bullish but cautious. It's getting too bright. I need my blue light glasses here. Soften the... That light is just bright, man. Bright light so you can see this beautiful face. But it's gonna wear my eyes out. Oof. Alright. Alright, it's getting tight. This is a moment of truth, I think. Moment of truth. It's not just gonna sit here forever. We got 1 minute till the close on the 15-minute candle. Oh, all right. There's a little bit of a push up. Is it a fake out, or is this the moment we've all been waiting for? Come on. Break that range. Break it. Break it. There you go. All right. Next stop. High a day. In your dreams, it says. In your dreams. Man, there's just no conviction to go higher here. Little fake out after little fake out. If you're taking scalps higher, would have been fine. Could have bought every little pullback and been okay so far. Noisy and choppy, but you would have been okay as long as you took your profits and didn't wait around too long. All right, there's a close outside the open range on the 1 minute chart. It's good. Yeah, and on the 3 minute chart, 5 minute chart too. I don't know. And back down. Oh yeah. Love to drive you crazy. I mean, this happens every time, right? We pull down, we got to close above, we got a little pullback, and then a little higher high, and then a pullback. Close above, a little pullback, a higher high, and then a pullback. It's what we're working with. What can you say? Just is what it is. Now that 5 minute candle does this confirm our bull flag on the 5 minute chart? And I'm not a bull flag expert. But this green candle closed above the previous candle. Then we had a pullback. Then this green candle closed above the previous candle. I don't know, seems bullish to me, but not the best looking flag for sure. I don't like that the stochastic is in overbought territory here. Looking down here, we're above the 80% on that gold line down here. Doesn't mean it has to come down, but it's something I watch. I mean, it's still moving up slowly. We're still on the 1 minute chart. All right. Is he gonna go? Come on. Come on, come on. Come on, let's go, NQ. I have 15 minutes here. 13 minutes. That's yesterday's high of day, is that green line. Green dash line is yesterday's high of day. It just doesn't want to break higher than that. It's peaked up there a couple of times, and every time it does, come back down. Every single time. Oh, goodness. Is it nap time? It's a soothing music I'm listening to. Keeps me in the zone and puts me to sleep. See, that's a reversal candle on the 1 minute chart, so I would not be feeling good if I was still in the long. I'd probably get out. There it goes. Back down, back down, back down, back down. Now this is interesting. Oh, okay, now we're breaking through our channel. Breaking the low of our little I mean, look at this. I mean, you know, I don't know what channels really mean, but when you look at the line, bottom of this candle extended out exactly the bottom of that candle. Is that luck? Probably. The market makers do that just so that the retail traders like me look at that and think we know what's going on. We still haven't taken out that candle's low. All right, well, this has turned, I think this has turned into change from an upward channel to a sideways channel. Or am I making stuff up? Actually, let's just do this. Delete, delete, delete. Let's do this. Just gonna make up lines. Can do whatever we want, right? There's kind of the wider channel that we're in. Rejecting that area that I pointed out on the daily chart. Back down we go. Back down we go. All right, 1050. Is it the 1050 algorithm? What does that mean? 1050 algorithm. After consolidation, we should get expansion somewhere. I mean, the reality is we're still long. I mean, there's we haven't broken lows here. We're still coming off of this strong push up. The only issue is really we haven't had a decent pullback. We just sort of settled here, and so makes it tricky. Makes it tricky. We're oversold. Oversold down here in stochastic land. What does the 3 minute look like? I mean, on the 3 minute, we got lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high. I mean, the other thing this could be setting up is if you are a bear up here and you think this is going to drop, you've got your stops up above these highs. So if at any time we did break these, I think there's a good chance. Excuse me. A little froggy in my throat. I think there's a good chance it could just like pop up here. All those stops get filled. What do the ICT guys call that? LRLR? Low resistance. Low LRLR. Low resistance liquidity run. When you go take out all these highs because all these stops are up here, they start to get filled. Accelerates. I don't know though. All right, hey, we're back down at the red line. Red line, push off, red line, push off, red line. It's 25-point candle. Do I take a trade? Do I risk my money? 25 points, maybe 50. Do I risk $100? What do you guys think? Should I do it? Where'd my, no. The chart moved. I said, where'd the candle go? Disappeared. You know, I'm not going to. That's dumb. I'm not going to. It might work, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait and see. We'll just wait. We'll paper trade this one. I'll just write it down on my piece of paper that I entered at this level. See what happens. That's the other risk for just sitting here watching, is I start to get bored. I think, hey, well, if it does something, I want to like have some skin in the game. You have to remember that's not what this is about. It's not about having skin in the game. It's about waiting for your setup. It's not my setup. Even though I can build some rationale into why I would want to get long there, I mean, whether or not it's right or wrong is irrelevant to the fact that it's not the strategy I came into the day to trade. So we're just gonna watch it. I really think you got to think about this as if you're the money manager and you're trading somebody else's money. If you're trading somebody else's money, you would have pretty strict criteria. Whatever that criteria was, you'd have to define it. You'd have to say, here's the parameters, this is what I'm going to do, and then do it. If you're in there taking all kinds of trades that don't fit the criteria, whether or not they work is pretty irrelevant to the fact that you are, you're risking somebody else's money in a way that's different from what you agreed to. So if you make that agreement with yourself every day and say, these are the entries that I'm going to take, these are the risk parameters I'm going to abide by, then you have to stick to that. You have to treat it professionally, otherwise it will eat you up. All right, well, it's coming down. I would not have got ticked into that, so there would have been no entry. Down we go. Down we go. Back down to the overnight open. We're breaking outside of our little made-up channel that we have. Back down to VWAP. We got the 9 and the 21 cross the 45. Does that mean anything? Probably not. But it does point to potential bearish momentum. I don't know, if we hold below VWAP here, we could be in for a ride. Excuse me. Jeesh. Could be in a ride to the downside. Where's our 3-minute chart show? We have back down to the bottom of the open range on the 3-minute chart. You can break out again down here. Pretty bearish close on that 3-minute candle. But again, right at that overnight open, I mean, we pushed through it. We pushed through it over here. We retested it here. We're pushing through it here. So we'll see. We did take out the low of this guy here. All right, now we're getting a little bit of a bounce. Three more minutes till my 11 o'clock timeout. Ooh, ripped straight back up. All right, we just need a deeper pullback. All right, is 11 o'clock going to take us higher? Consolidate all morning in order for the lunchtime trend to begin? Or is the trend going to be down? I mean, if you look at this, since this morning, we're still in this Still in this consolidation. I mean, this is basically the range we've been in since, what, noon yesterday, right? It's not gonna stay here forever. Not gonna stay here forever. Big wick on the 15-minute candle. It's about to close red here in 30 seconds, but it is a big bottom wick on that candle. Big doji candle on the 5-minute chart with a huge red or huge bottom wick, unless it just comes straight back down here in the next 20 seconds, which maybe it's going to. Down we go. All right, well, that is the end of my day. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for stopping by. If you take a look at this video at any point and give it a like, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to try and live stream every day from 9:30 to 11. I don't know if I'll make it till 11 every day. If I have good trades like I had this morning, I might end early, because honestly, sitting in front of the charts doing nothing is not that exciting. Although watching this happen was a little more exciting because we're waiting for that moment when it breaks out. Unfortunately, it has not happened yet, so we'll wait and see. We'll come back tomorrow and see what happened. So until tomorrow, take it easy, trade safe. Bye-bye.